Hey guys, and welcome to the official Portola YouTube channel. I'm Angelina, and this is our special guest,
Mrs. Wynne. Hello.
So, today we have three reminders. One is that on Monday it's an A day, meaning that we have periods 1, 3, and 5. The second one is a congratulations to everyone who took place in our YouTube banner and profile picture making competition. Thank you to everyone who submitted or voted. Finally, a shout out to our winners, Cami for the banner and Vanessa for the profile picture. All of the art looks great, and I think we have some amazing artistic talent here at Portola. Our last reminder is to wear blue for Anti-Bullying Month. Today, we are going to be talking to Miss Wynne, and this is our special interview with her.
Hello.
Okay, so time to get questions. So, what's your job? What do you do here at Portola?
I'm a sixth grade math and science teacher, but I also teach one period of a math art elective, which is kind of a combination of math with art together, which is lots of fun to teach.
So, did you plan on being a teacher?
No, when I was a kid, my goal was to become a writer someday. And then when I was in college, I thought I was going to become a college professor of anthropology.
Oh, so what is anthropology exactly?
So it's the study of human culture. So they have like linguistic anthropology and cultural anthropology and biological anthropology. So it's kind of just a study of how humans interact, what are their culture, with their culture, like what do they do. I actually, use it a lot as a teacher because knowing students' backgrounds and being able to relate to like or understand, what their culture is kind of helps me a lot as a teacher. So I do still use it in my job. Um, and it's also really exciting. Like they even have jobs if you work for example, in the army, they'll employ anthropologists to help them understand the cultures where they have people stationed, so they don't, offend people or do anything that could upset people that are locals.
Yeah. That sounds like a really cool and important job. And why did you want to be a teacher?
Well, I was graduating from college and I didn't know what to do with my degree in anthropology, and so I thought I would take a break before I went to graduate school. And I joined a program called Teach for America, where you teach for 2 years in underserved communities. And so I thought I'll take a break and I'll just do this for a couple of years. But I actually loved it so much that I just stayed a teacher, and the rest is history.
So, we know that you weren't planning on being a teacher, so what else did you want to be?
Well, I thought about being a writer when I was a kid. I really wanted to like go to graduate school and be an anthropology professor someday and teach college. There aren't a whole lot of anthropology jobs out there, so probably for the best that I became a
So,
teacher.
how many years have you been a teacher?
So I started teaching in 2001, which in New York City, by the way. My fourth day of teaching, by the way, was 9/11 in New York City. And so then I came back to California 2 years later, and I've been teaching. I taught fifth grade for a couple of years, but doing sixth grade ever since 2006, I believe. 2006.
So, how many years is that? Let's see.
Well, I took a couple of years off to like have babies. So total, I've been teaching for 17 years.
Oh, okay, 17 years. So that's a longer than the 2 years you were planning on. So,
Yes.
how has your job changed since in-person school closure? Because this year is a lot different than possibly the 17 years you were teaching.
It is. I'm sleeping a lot less. I'm usually up till like midnight or 1 o'clock most days, just trying to get all the stuff graded and plan things. And it's a lot harder to plan where you're doing things through like a Zoom because you have to have something up like on the screen all the time. Whereas if you're in front of the classroom, you can kind of just give the directions, hand students materials to work with, and you kind of walk around and just help them. And so when it's all in a Zoom, you're constantly talking and doing something. So it's a lot of planning. And since it's like a daily check-in with, so I normally like will check homework once a week, and now that it's like a daily check-in, I'm grading literally hundreds of assignments every single day. So a lot longer hours. That's the biggest change. But one good change, though, I will say, is that I love how in distance learning, either with like a Nearpod or with the Zoom, you can have kids that can answer things anonymously. And so I love the biggest change now is that all of my really shy kids are actually participating a lot more now because they feel a lot braver not having to like raise their hand and talk in front of the entire class. So that's one good thing that's changed that I love.
So I really love how you put like the silver lining on it and just being able to like interact with your students more. So that's really great. And have you had any other jobs? And if so, what were they?
So my very first job was at Pizza Hut when I was like 16, and then I worked at a coffee house, and then I worked at a movie theater for a few years, and I worked at a bank. And then in college, my college job was that I was a background extra in movies and TV a bunch. I worked in Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
I worked on a TV show called Popular a bunch when I was in college. I looked really young for my age, so I played kids that were like 15, 16 when I was like 21, 22 all the time. But it was actually a great college job because I'd be stuck on a set for like 12 hours and I had to do all my homework. And this was before we had cell phones, so I was just stuck there for 12 hours doing homework. I'd work for like 30 minutes and go back to my homework again. It was actually kind of a fantastic job for college because I got all my work done and I was getting paid for it. So
just like kind of like a comparison, I think you and Missoula had some pretty cool jobs in college. Like, she worked at Magic Mountain, I believe, and that sounds pretty cool to me. And you were both people that worked at a pizza place, so that's pretty cool.
nice. Awesome.
And back to your teaching job, what's your least favorite part of that?
Honestly, it's all the paperwork, having to haul papers back and forth when we're on campus. I'm happy right now that it's all digital. It's kind of like one nice thing that it's all digital right now. I also don't like having to, when kids get in trouble, having to discipline them. Like, you know, it's tough being the bad guy, but even then, it's tough when kids make bad choices. You're kind of like, you just want them to have to, have a good experience in school. And so it's most challenging to deal with that, but it's also an opportunity to kind of help kids. A lot of times when kids get in trouble, there's a reason behind it, and so it also gives me a chance to kind of connect to students a little bit better, connect to them, and to just help them be more okay.
Yeah. So with the paperwork thing, Mr. Lee agrees with you on that one. It sounds like you guys get a lot of paperwork.
A lot. It's for sure.
So what's your favorite part of the job? Vice versa of that.
Just being around students. I love when we're in person and like you can just be goofy and silly and like you're teaching the stuff, but you also can kind of be goofy and make silly jokes. And I love sixth grade because you guys get my silly jokes, but you're still like, like you're fresh in middle school, so you kind of have like the best attitude ever. So I just miss being around students. I miss cracking jokes and being silly, but also learning stuff and being face to face. And I miss that. I mean, it's kind of more awkward when it's like a Zoom. I'm making a joke and everyone's just kind of muted right now. It's like, oh, I'm being weird. No one else is talking. All right, it's cool. But
So
it's still
that's it for all the serious questions. So now it can be weird.
okay.
So now it's time for our quirky questions. And are hot dogs considered sandwiches?
So I think of like a sandwich, like a layer and then some stuff and then some layers. I'd probably put like, I say a no. I think hot dogs are more like tacos than sandwiches personally.
So now we have 2-on-2, me and Mr. Lee, and then you and Miss Olot. So next person. And what comes first, cereal or milk when you're making like a bowl of cereal?
Definitely cereal. I don't like my cereal to float too much, so I like to add just the right amount of milk so my cereal stays put.
Yeah, at least we could all agree on that one. Like most of the people I talk to say cereal first. So, and this week's quirky question, you'll be the first to answer this one is, would you rather have no nose or no arms?
Probably no nose. I have a really sensitive sense of smell, so I wouldn't mind so much having that be the thing that I lose, just because I smell everything, and sometimes that's a bad thing.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. For any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Also leave in the comment section down below your answer to this week's quirky question, which we just said was, would you rather have no nose or no arms? See you next week. Bye.